the truth about Charvarius Ward. The Niners signed him to do what he did last year. He was very good last year. Now, let's talk about what he is. He's like the exact opposite of Richard Sherman. When Richard Sherman was on this team, I couldn't stand the way he played. He played zone coverage. He played like 10 yards off, and he was just trying to like jump one pass a game and pick off that one pass. And you know what? He was pretty good at it. But in the process, he would give up so much separation, first down after first down after first. All you had to do was run a comeback on him first down. He was just, as long as I don't get beat deep and I intercept a few passes a season, I'm staying in the league. I'll be all pro. And that was his thing. And it was very extreme. He was good at it. Ward is the other extreme. He's not hanging back 9 yards off the ball. He's not playing zone coverage. He is in the wide receiver's face, press man coverage. And then when it's time to run downfield, Ward's going to turn his back to the quarterback and chase the wide receiver. I love coverage like that. Because what you're doing is not baiting the throw. You're denying the throw. You can't throw here. He's not covered. I mean, he's not open. He's covered. I love that. That's the best kind of coverage, in my opinion. And when you have your back to the quarterback, really hard to catch the ball. Some guys can get their head around quickly, but really you're taught to like just break up the ball. And last year he did that at an elite level, playing press man coverage. He gave up a 79.4 quarterback rating and committed only 4 penalties while being all up in wide receivers' faces, being very, very physical. That's great. That's why the Niners signed him. That's why everyone is praising this signing, right? He was really good last year. Thing about him, he was not really good in 2020. Also, in 2021, he missed 4 games. That's like a quarter of the season. So he had a very good 13-game stretch in 2021. But in 2020, he was not good. He played 14 games. He gave up a quarterback rating of 103 and committed 11 penalties. 11 penalties in 14 games. Who does that remind you of? 11 penalties, 14 games, 103 passer rating. That's terrible. Who is that? That's Josh Norman. Josh Norman in 2021 on this team with that pass rush and that front seven gave up a quarterback rating of 110, 11 penalties in 15 games. That's Josh Norman. So my question is, which Charvarius Ward did the Niners get? The guy who balled out in his contract year? Or the guy who really struggled in 2020? Because the way he played in 2020, 103 quarterback rating, giving up 11 penalties, you'd be better off playing Ambry Thomas. Like that's not an upgrade from Ambry Thomas, the 2020 version of Charvarius Ward. 2021 version of Charvarius Ward, hell of a player. But which one are you getting? I mean, how many times have the Niners gotten burned by players in their contract years? D Ford? I'm just saying. So I'm curious on that, and I can't help but notice that the Chiefs weren't eager to bring him back. They saw 2020. That must have been painful for them. They let him go and sign Justin Reed instead. And you know what? The Niners needed a strong safety. Maybe they should have signed Justin Reed. What do the Chiefs know about Charvarius Ward? The Niners don't. Why do the Niners think they know more about Ward than the Chiefs? I don't know. Anyway, my question with Ward, so the plan for him is to let him actually press, right? Do press coverage. Well, the Niners tried that last year, if you remember. They let Mosley, Norman, all their corners get right up in the face of wide receivers. And what happened? Pass interference, holding, pass interference, deep catch. Like it was bombs away on the Niners secondary for the first 6-7 games of the season. Then D'Amico Ryans made an adjustment. Everyone played 9 yards off. Do not get beaten deep. Do not mug the wide receiver down the field. Play off. Don't have a lot of contact. Don't get beat deep. And that worked for the Niners. All of a sudden, penalties were gone. Big plays were gone. But you know what they compromised? Their third down defense. Because all of a sudden, they couldn't stop comebacks on the outside. 3rd and 15, first down. Because they're trying to not get beat deep. 3rd and 15, deep comeback, first down, over and over and over. And the Niners defense ranked 20th on 3rd down when they had a phenomenal, shouldn't have happened. Phenomenal pass rush, 20th on 3rd down, shouldn't happen. So how many penalties is it going to take before D'Amico and Kyle are like, you know what, Charvarius, just line up 9 yards off and play off? Because once they do that with Charvarius Ward, he's not worth it. They're going to give him $16 million in 2023. He's going to be, now I know the cap's going up, but they made a huge commitment to him because they think he can do straight up man-to-man, jam, press man coverage. Okay, well, he couldn't in 2020. Not without committing 11 penalties. He did it so well in 2021. Which one are you going to get? If you have to put him off 9 yards and say, look, man, you got to stop committing penalties, then you just got freaking Josh Norman again. So I have no idea which Charvarius Ward the Niners got, but I don't think they do either. I think they hope they got the one from last year, but how many times have you seen a dude who's just a dude become a star in a contract year? Is that him? Seems like the Chiefs thought so. And it seems like they have a pretty good feel of when to get rid of their players. I mean, they knew when to get rid of D Ford. Second place don't mean ish in the NFL. Seems like Lynch is okay with that as long as he keeps his job. Same with Jed York, man. It seems like they're really okay with being in the hunt. Like Eddie D seemed like he was obsessive about being the best. Being in the hunt wasn't good enough, but his ego is tied into it. Jed's ego isn't tied into it. He's a financial analyst. Like he's still planning for the future while doing business as usual. Same with Parag. The way I see it, you nailed it. They are not all in on Lance. Playoffs are not guaranteed playing the AFC West this season, which could be another reason why no free agents. Maybe, but they're not all in on Lance. Absolutely not. They're not all in on this season. I don't know what they're doing, but they're waiting until next season to make their big push because that's when the cap goes up. But that's when every team is going to make a big push. I feel like the Niners aren't going to actually do anything differently next year. I don't know. We'll see.